I'm not disagreeing. They absolutely choked that game away. They absolutely did, and they deserve to get it. I'm just saying that that's kind of like I would have kept that in the back pocket. I don't know if I would have brought that out for game one. We'll talk a little bit about the playoffs. We have Oklahoma City. They get the win last night. They're up 3-1. Yeah. Minnesota couldn't quite close the deal. They got it real close. They were down big. They were down more than 10. Like they were down like 12 or something at some point. I don't remember the exact number. I was kind of watching off and on.
Well, here's the debate, right? Mm-hmm. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, has had more free throw attempts than Curry has in the entire playoffs of his career.
Right.
He's had more free throw attempts in 2 games than Curry's had his entire playoff.
Yeah, it's
he's getting a parity.
He's getting a ton of calls, a ton. Yeah, it's kind of egregious, but yeah, Minnesota couldn't quite get the job done last night, so they're down 3-1. OKC is in the driver's seat. In the Eastern Conference, they're going to play tonight. Right now, the New York Knicks are down 2-1 to the Indiana Pacers. You know, the resparking of an old rivalry from the 90s. There's been a lot of people talking about, you know, the Reggie Miller doing the choke, and then Hallie did the choke thing, you know, after game one. I would have saved that for like a clinching game. I wouldn't have brought it out for game one.
No, the Knicks choked that one. They were up.
No, I'm not disagreeing. They absolutely choked that game away. They absolutely did, and they deserve to get it. I'm just saying that that's kind of like I would have kept that in the back pocket. I don't know if I would have brought that out for game one.
I don't know, man. I think you go with the vibe. Reggie Miller is calling your game, and you do the move. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
that's
cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. Reggie would have been calling the game 5 or 6 or 7 whenever they, assuming they clinch. Reggie would still be on the call there. I was just saying, or even like save it for game like if you get your third win, and like if they win tonight and they're up 3-1, I might have, like, if there was an opportunity to do it later in the series, I guess I would have saved it for a time later in the series, you know, for your third win or your fourth win, either one of them. I just think doing it in the first game was a little bit odd.
Hey, man,
but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I do love it, and I love I love the reaction and everything after. Don't hear what I'm not saying.
I think it was a chef's kiss kind of move, and if Hallie would go and do it again, I think he would do it all the same. And
absolutely. No. He like I'm not saying I'm him. I'm just saying if I was in that situation, I probably, because of my personality, I probably keep that. I still do it, but I save it for further along in the series. That's all.
But I would say the biggest thing about the series is now, I think Naismith is now hurt, and that's kind of one of their better defenders. So I think that's kind of swaying the decision. He's got an ankle injury right now, so we'll see what that results to. But I think at the end of the day, I'm liking the Pacers. Look, I thought the Knicks are going to be a first-round exit. They proved me wrong. I'll eat crow on that one. But I still don't believe it, man. The Knicks they're going to nick it. It's going to happen. And I'm here for it when the Pacers do it.
They're going to go full Knicks at some point. Sam says the foul call disparity in the NBA is absolutely harming the game, and soon viewership. It's pretty much agreed that the lottery is rigged. You have a history of foul calls favoring players or teams.
It's already affecting viewership. I mean, the viewership now is way down. Like, I'm not going to be, I guess you could call it biasy or whatever, but when the Warriors were playing, people were watching. And it wasn't because they wanted to watch the Warriors win. It's because they liked watching Curry. They could resonate with Curry. You know what I mean? So I think Knicks fans, the news of them just being absolute a-holes, at least, I'm not going to say all of them, but the ones that are being showcased.
A non-0%.
Yeah, that's not helping. Halliburton's dad situation, that's not helping.
Well, he's going to be allowed back into the back in now, so that suspension or whatever, it's been lifted.
Well, he can be only at Pacers games in a suite box. He cannot be.
Yeah, well, he's going to be in a suite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be down on the floor, but
it's already down. Like people watching Timberwolves and OKC, they're not even talking about the numbers because they're so bad. Nobody's watching them. The Knicks and Pacers games have a bit of good viewership because Knicks fans do, watch, and people want to watch the Knicks. But at the end of the day, it's nowhere near what it was. They're not even talking about numbers. That's how bad it's been for both of these conference finals. So, anyways, digress.
All right, so so let's bring it a little bit closer to home. Draymond Green is going to make his the NBA All Defense first team. That's his 9th overall selection to the All Defensive team, and 5 of those have been first team selections. Hall of Fame defender if I've ever seen one. Tell you what,
the Hall of Fame badge.
Steph Curry makes his Steph Curry makes the All NBA second team. That's his 11th total selection. That's his 5th time on the second team. Warriors also announced this past Thursday that Moses Moody underwent successful surgery on the torn ulnar collateral ligament, the UCL, in his right thumb, and is expected to be ready in time for next season's training camp.
So maybe that's why he couldn't shoot.
Yeah, he tore something at some point. Clearly,
I guess we always have to remember that, right? As fans, we're always clowning our players. There might be something else, Who knows? Maybe Butler dislocated his hip, and that's why he wasn't shooting. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah. There's always more to the story. They only report what they absolutely have to.
Yes.
And since he was playing, they didn't report it. They didn't have to. They didn't say, "Oh, he's dealing with the thumb thing." The only thumb thing we knew about was Steph's, and that was because he was wearing a cast. So we knew about that. But
Sam says the NBA will be so happy to have an Oklahoma and Indiana, a ratings juggernaut. I can hear his facetious comment.
More like slumber not. Oh, got him.
Oh, they want the Knicks to win so bad. So don't worry, Scott Foster will probably referee the next 3 games for the Knicks.
He's getting at least one of them. I'm sure of it. You put a note in here, ongoing Kerr and JK situations that it might be hard to fit JK into the current starting roster, but that him being around here for the offseason will help sway that. So you asked the question, does Kerr fail growing young talent?
Yeah, I think it's a great question.
That absolutely. I think that's a good question to ask because we can look at the scoreboard. Which of the young talent players that we've drafted or, basically since Kerr has come on as head coach, which of them has actually stuck around? Looney.
I would say that's right. Yeah. But outside of his core, right? Like Looney, Draymond, Clay.
No, he drafted. Looney was something that he was around when he was drafted. Like Kerr was around when he was drafted.
Okay, I see.
Drafted. So I'm saying since Steve Kerr joined the team in 2014, who's the young player that has grown into an all-star or a solid contributing type player? And it's Looney. The list starts and ends with Looney. I think everybody else. I mean, you can just look down the list.
Poole got shipped out.
Yeah, Poole got paid, but then they shipped him out the following season. McCaw, he was long gone.
Was a 2-time NBA champion.
Yeah, he sure is.
Just wasn't the perennial player. But he got shipped out.
He was the 12th guy on the bench for 2 different teams. Yeah.
James Wiseman, although that was technically Lakeup's pick.
Yeah, Lakeup ended up putting his thumb on the scale for that one, but even still, he wasn't able to develop. And is he even in the league? So did Detroit move on from him?
He got hurt with Detroit, right? Mm-hmm. Signed with Indiana in the offseason, and then Indiana cut him, and then he went to Toronto, and then they cut him. So technically he's not in the league.
He's not on the team right now. He's not on the roster right now. Yeah, so that's a bust. I mean, yeah, I'm just going through my mind. I don't recall. So yeah,
I think Pods is probably your closest one, but even then we have question marks with Pods because it's like I think Pods has question marks, Pods came in as a sharpshooter, and then all of a sudden he could do defensive things, and Kerr was like, "Cool, I want you to do defensive things, and the shot will just come." Well, the shot didn't really come, and it still hasn't really come. I'll be honest with you, there's some nights where he's a Buddy Hield, you know. Um, so I think Kerr likes him because defensively he does what he would like, but yeah, I still think out of that, I mean, it's probably about it.
Sam in the chat says Kerr said it in the interview. It's hard to give young guys minutes when you have Hall of Famer and 3 out of 5 starting roles. That's a fair point too. I mean, minutes are a little bit harder to come by for the young guys, but at some point there's got to be a line. You got to start. If you're not getting
Draymond
playing
cannot
time,
be playing 35 minutes a game going forward. He cannot. Like, he can, but if you're wanting to go deep into the playoffs, he cannot. Like, he has to.
Yeah, I would love
figure out a way.
I would love if Draymond was a 30 minutes or less player. But because he's so important defensively, obviously they haven't been able to do that, and that.
But like, how much
is
that
it circles
on
back
Kerr?
To the development?
Yeah, how much is that on Kerr telling Draymond, like, "Hey, look, I can only coach these guys so much defensively. You and Jerry Stackhouse on another level than what I could ever teach you defensively." Steve Kerr was not a defensive-minded player. You know, he was clearly offense, right? So I would come to Draymond and be like, you need to train these guys, because if you want to play less minutes, they have to get better. And sometimes you're just going to have to roll with that. They're going to make mistakes, and it's going to bother you so much that you want to beat your head against the wall. But you just got to have to roll with it, because guess what? You did the same thing. You know, when David Lee went out, you made a bunch of mistakes. Can anyone tell me when Draymond would dribble the ball up the court, you didn't hold on to your pants because you thought he was going to turn the ball over every single time? Okay?
When he first started starting. It was a little. Yeah, it was a little shaky for sure. So this is a great question, and I think it's something that we should, kind of keep checking in on as we go. And it's something to keep an eye on. Can Podziemski kind of break this curse? It's been Looney and nobody else, so to speak. And I'm not counting current players on the team, like, current young guys on the team, because this is Podziemski's second year, so starting next year, if he gets the shot, fixed or whatever in the off season, and he's able to bring the defense along with him, then all of a sudden, okay, sure, great. That's another guy you've developed that brings the total to 2, which isn't a lot.
Yeah, 2 out of, like, let's say 12 guys, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Yeah, he loves his role players, man. He loves them.
And he brings it's kind of tough, for second round draft picks, especially, you can't really expect almost none of them turn into what Draymond turned into.
Exactly. They're not all Draymond.
So that is another exception that proves the rule kind of thing. So, I mean, I'm not going to blame him for not developing Alan Smailagic, that's not on.
With that being said, though, Post has to put some weight on, right? Because I'm telling you right now, there was no reason why he shouldn't have been in that Minnesota series. He was absolutely disappeared, milk carton, put an APB on him, couldn't find him.
Yeah, time to hit the gym and put the big boy weights on, you know. Okay, so this is a good discussion. I think we need to keep coming back to it, every couple of weeks, just check in on that. So thank you for adding that in. We're going to switch over to the Valkyries this past week. We're going to start with the 2 games that completed before we started recording. They get the win against the Washington Mystics on Wednesday, 75-74. That was a really close one, but they get the job done. Tiffany Hayes got injured in the second quarter and did not return to the game. She had a nose injury. They follow that up on Friday. They go down to LA to play the Sparks. They get a 9-point win down there. Tiffany Hayes didn't even travel with the team. Neither did Monique Billings. So they played, shorthanded 2 players, but they were able to get the job done there as well. And then, unfortunately, as we were talking, the game against the New York Liberty just wrapped up. They took a massive loss. It was a 28-point beatdown
To be expected, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the New York Liberty are the defending champions. They're playing in New York, and
you mean you're talking about Valkyrie's future point guard in Sabrina Ionescu.
We'll see about that. We're getting a little. Let's not get crazy yet. Let's finish out.
Sabrina, you want a contract? I'll sign you. I got money to blow.
Valkyries actually, before this game tipped off, they were number 1 in the W in defensive rating. Like they've really like turned, like they play a really good brand of defense. Unfortunately, they got tested and failed that test tonight against the New York Liberty. Earlier in the show, if you've seen me looking up, that was me taking a look at the score just to kind of see. They cut it down to in the fourth quarter. They got it down to about 11, I think, was the lowest that I saw. But then the Liberty just kind of put the just kind of took it into overdrive and just ended up going away.
Valkyries still have a better record than the Chicago Sky. That is
they're currently 2-2 on the season now, including tonight's loss. Before tonight's loss, as of the standings last night, they were sitting in 4th in the Western Conference. So that's pretty good. Even with the loss, they're gonna be 5th, maybe. So there's still the Connecticut Sun, the Chicago Sky, the Dallas Wings. All 3 of those teams heading into tonight's games still did not have a win. So
if you have not seen it, do yourself a favor. But Chicago Sky's last game, not the one they're gonna play tonight. I don't know what I was watching, but that was like first year of WNBA basketball level of what the hell is going on. Angel Reese got like 5 rebounds on one play because she just decided to not pass her teammates and take on the entire defending team and got blocked 3 times. And then at the end, after her 5th attempt, decided to pass out. Well, all of her teammates were just standing behind the 3-point line, just watching the whole thing. So I don't know what I just watched, but that was probably the most abysmal basketball I've ever seen in my life. Right. But that being said, the Valkyries still have a better record than Shai.